20 years of rain, sunshine, harsh weather, and general outdoor exposure have taken its toll on this little brass lamp. It's time to replace it, and that's what's on tap today on DIY Dave. Thanks for joining us. Hello everybody, it's time for another video from DIY Dave. Today we're going to do a little home improvement project. We've got some wall sconces around our garage doors that have just been beat to death from weather and general exposure over the years. 20 years, which is how long we've lived in this house. So we're going to replace them with some fixtures we picked up at Lowe's, not a sponsor. We're going to go through the steps. This is a really easy project. Anybody can do it. Just take proper safety precautions when dealing with electricity. Let's go ahead and get started. Number one on our list of safety checks to make sure that we're safe when we're changing this light is to kill the breaker to the light. This particular breaker here lists dining room, but when the original electricians wired this house, they didn't do a very comprehensive job of labeling these. This actually refers to a switch in the entry hall adjacent to the dining room that has 3 switches on it, runs 3 different sets of lights, one of which happens to be the sconces around the garage doors. So we've killed that switch, we have no power to the lights, so we're completely safe to work on these fixtures. Now, any one particular set of fixtures may vary a little bit, but in general, what you're going to need for a project like this is just a decent pair of pliers and a nice screwdriver. And as I said, we got the wire nuts that came with the new light fixture. And all we've got to do is remove this fixture. That's just going to be that's going to amount to removing that little screw right there that holds this plate on. And then we'll pull the fixture off, and then we'll pull this plate off, and then we will disconnect the 3 wires, the hot, neutral, and ground wire that actually hold the thing on once that base is disconnected. So we'll go ahead and get that bolt loose and get that fixture pulled off. That's pretty loose, actually. It's loose, but it still needs a little coaxing. Let's see if that's now loose enough. There we go. Just dropped it. And now we will pull that off. Now that exposes the fixture. This thing is full of bugs, and you can see here, this thing is pitted, and the coating has come off. It just looks really ratty, and it's due for replacement. It's time for a refresh. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to release the wires that hold the fixture in place. Now the convention in most areas is the black wire is hot, the white wire is neutral, and the bare wire is ground. And all we really have to do is undo these wire nuts. And that releases one. And that releases 2. And I already noticed a difference in the way this one was installed versus one I did earlier when I decided to go ahead and make a video of this. They attached the ground lug to this bolt. And I think this bolt may be rusted in place. And we may end up, that was unexpected. We may end up needing to get a different screwdriver. Stand by. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more closely since it's a little hard to tell at a distance. But there's all kinds of green crusties around this ground screw where the ground wire from the lamp is attached. So we're going to have a different mounting bracket, so we don't really need this. So I'm just going to snip that puppy right there. And the ground lug, the ground wire should be in the box, and I believe it is this guy right here. But we'll make sure that we've got the right thing. And we can take this, we'll salvage the light bulb out of it. Well, now that we've got this out, we can take the light bulb out of it and put it in the new fixture. Now we want to make sure that we've got the right wires. We've got the neutral white wire, we got the hot black wire, and this wire, the ground wire, this looks like the bare metal ground wire, but it's covered in so much corruption. I want to make sure that's not insulated. Yeah, this is I think this is actually the ground wire, and it got cut when they initially built the house and installed these fixtures. Oh, okay. Here is the ground lug, and they split it. Maybe it may be that they brought the ground in, put it in the spade lug, ran around here, and then it goes across to the other side. I'm not sure. Can't tell. And matter of fact, that almost has to be what it is. So either side is terminated on the ground screw in the back of the box, so we should be okay. So this is our ground. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll get the new fixture and attach the wires. So this replacement fixture we're going to use is a really attractive, at least I think it's a really attractive little white trimmed, white painted fixture. Polished brass is long since out of style. You really can't even find it much anymore. They have kind of a burnished brass, which I don't particularly like. And we thought the white looked nice. It complements the side of our house. So that's what we picked and got these at Lowe's. I think they were like, had a box with a pair of lights. I think it was $35. The individual light, we needed one because we've got 3 lights. I think the individual light was $19, something like that. There was a break for buying a pair. But anyway, we're going to get this unboxed and take a look. We've got in the package here, we've got 3 wire nuts and we've got 2 mounting screws. We'll use those in the little mounting bracket. Okay, this is the new fixture that we're going to replace the old one with, and it has a different mounting bracket, this guy right here, that has a couple of screws that come through these holes, so we just need to take off these little end caps that will free the bracket and then mount it in the location of replace our existing bracket. So now the next thing we're going to do is just unscrew the old bracket. And of course I just dropped the screw, but we got new screws. Drop that screw. 2 for 2. One of the things working on these things, you've got big thick fingers like I do, it sometimes makes it hard to hold on to little screws. One of my favorite other YouTube channels is South Main Auto, and Erico is always talking about his meat nugget fingers, and I can empathize. You get a hold of a small screw, 6 out of 10 times I'm going to drop it. Oh well. Okay, now we have the wires separated, and now we are going to put in the new mounting bracket. Now, one of the things on this new mounting bracket that we have to keep in mind is that the bracket will, the new light will fit over this bracket. These screws will come out and you put the cap on. So we've got to push this screw in enough such that we expose only as much of the screw as we need, or else the screw will stick out, and we only need to expose as much of the screw as we absolutely need, minimum, so the cap can come through here and not leave part of the screw exposed once we mount the bracket. So we'll take this middle screw here. Now this little guy right here has a set screw, and we're going to have to remove the set screw because we'll need to offset the center mounting bracket from the little mounting flange so that we can screw the bracket into place like this. So we'll do like this. And I left the screws in the workbench. Okay, so now we've got our bracket and we've got the proper screws. So we will put this guy right here. Kind of blocking the camera a little bit. And we will replace the set screw. Again, drop warning, meat nugget fingers in play. Hey, I actually got that one. All right, so now we can wire up our new fixture. Now, there is some debate among the electrical folks out there, different electricians. They say don't reuse wire nuts, and they have pretty good reasons for it. My only problem with that is that these wire nuts are still in really good shape. There's nothing broken in, there's no stuff inside, and these are really a heavier wire nut than the lamp supplier gives you. I like these nuts better, but I would prefer not to get yelled at by the electricians that might be watching, so I will not reuse the old nuts. I'll use these new, smaller nuts that I'm not as crazy about, but neither here nor there. I think actually either one would be okay, but I believe the conventional wisdom among the electrician community is don't reuse wing nuts, or wire nuts, excuse me. Now you do have to be careful as you're wiring this thing up to hold the fixture under your arm as you're wiring together these nuts, or else you're liable to drop the fixture and break it. Don't ask me how I know that. Oh well. So we're just going to take there's the threads on the hot and the neutral, and here's our ground wire. And I'm going to take this end of the ground wire, and I'm going to put this wire nut on it. And now we're going to take the hot wire, we'll put it right here with the wire nut. See, it's not wanting to go in there. Yeah, see, this wire nut is too small to take. I'm gonna have to risk the wrath of the electrical folks. I'm gonna reuse the wire nut. Flame away, because the other one just wasn't big enough. There. Now that is secure, and now we just do the white one. Now, I'm just going to tuck these wires back into the box. The heavier gauge house wiring is hard to bend, but we are going to overcome that one way or the other. There we go. And then we will put the new fixture over the screws. And the meat nugget finger strike again. Ah. We're going to start it on this other side because it's fighting me on that side. There we go. Okay, that's one side in. I gotta go find the other one. Okay, we got the other one in. So all that remains now is to flip the switch and give it a test and see if it works. Go flip the switch real quick. And that bulb was no good. Ha! Stand by. We have acquired a new bulb. I've already turned the switch on and there she goes. That's it, folks. That's all she wrote. 3 wires. Make sure you exercise appropriate safety precautions when dealing with electricity because it can only kill you. But as long as the power is off, you rewire the proper wires, secure it all back in place, you're in good shape. This is an easy project. Anybody could do it. One thing to keep in mind is once you've got the thing reattached, you might look, especially if you're going against a brick or irregular surface, you might want to take a bead of caulk to go around this to ensure there's no water intrusion into the box. But that's going to do it for right now. Thanks for joining us on DIY Dave, and I hope you have a great afternoon. Bye-bye, everybody.